Do you see this image right here? Oh yeah, I can feel your nostalgia boner through the screen, thinking of all the great memories you had 15 years ago. Playing these games online back when 3 a.m. was a normal time to be awake and you had no kids or responsibilities and your wife was just your girlfriend and she was still fun to be around. Well, I've got some bad news. None of these games are officially playable online on Xbox 360 anymore. But that doesn't mean all hope is lost. Even with the Xbox 360 store shutting down on July 29th, Microsoft has confirmed that as long as the publisher still supports the online servers, online play isn't going anywhere. Unfortunately, in order to find those supported games, I had to turn into a mad scientist and pore over countless Reddit posts with snarky commenters who told people to just use Google even when the answers aren't readily available, and Control F more than a human should on EA's and Ubisoft's websites to see which games they've shuttered. After all that, I gave myself a well-earned foot massage. I also came up with a list of several titles that still have online play and might have an active player base. The whole ordeal went in a direction I wasn't expecting, but along the way I was able to find a couple of Xbox 360 games that still have thousands of active players in 2024. While Halo may have abandoned the Xbox 360, the other major exclusive franchise, Gears of War, has not. Released way back in 2006, the first Gears of War does have a few people still playing. I found them in Quick Player Match, and after backing out, was able to find another match right after. It ranged from 3v3 to 2v3 to 4v4, and some of the other players were way too good. But yeah, if you want to play a bit of Gears of War on Xbox 360 in 2024, you can. Surely the second of 4 Gears of War games on 360 still has players 15 years later, right? Well, Gears 2 is a little different than its predecessor. This time around, you have to choose from a bunch of different game modes rather than simply looking for a ranked or casual match. Except Gears 2 doesn't tell you how many players are in each game mode. After a bit of searching, Ranked Guardian slowly began to fill up. 10 minutes of waiting later, we were at a total of 6 players, which is still not enough for a game to start. One of the players kept getting antsy and leaving and coming back, just like my ex-wife when she can't get any matches on Tinder. Also like my ex-wife, after waiting forever, we finally came together. I'd say it was a total of 15 minutes, but I managed to enter a multiplayer game of Gears of War 2. I soon realized that I completely forgot how to actually play Gears of War and everyone else was beyond maximum rank. But I mean, look at Fortnite. If it wasn't for all those kids who get eliminated in the first 2 minutes, the rest of us wouldn't have as much fun. I'm providing a service to people all over the world by being bad. And also, we won, probably because I was the ace in their hole. I tried all of the other game modes in Gears 2 and nothing. Nobody in Ranked Warzone, Execution, Annex, King of the Hill, or Submission. You can find a game in Casual, but only because they throw bots in there with you. I also tried Horde. Only one other person was there and I left them after a few minutes. Aside from Ranked Guardian, Gears of War 2 is a mad world with no familiar faces but lots of worn out places. Finishing the trilogy, we have Gears of War 3. If you thought this was the most populated of the 3, well, you'd be wrong. According to the menus, not a single person was playing Gears of War 3 at the same time as me. But I defied the computer and jumped into Ranked Team Deathmatch, Warzone, Execution, Capture the Leader, King of the Hill, and Wingman hoping to find somebody. Sadly, there wasn't a single player to be found in the wide world of whatever the name of the world Gears of War set in is called. I even tried again the following day at a different time, same story. Then I looked for a quick match, no joy there either. The only games I got into were against bots. But Horde was another story. Again, the game said no one was online. But I managed to enter Horde mode super quickly. It just kept getting interrupted because of the host constantly leaving, and when I tried to re-up, I wasn't able to join a new one, despite at least 1 or 2 matches going on. Now is the perfect time to bring this up. Just like with my Wii U and 3DS video about online multiplayer, these are meant to show which games are regularly populated for an average player and don't require jumping into a Discord server and trying to make friends. If you want to play any unpopulated Xbox 360 game online in 2024, obviously you can. You just have to find other people in 2024 who want to do the same thing at the same time as you. Otherwise, at least when I tried, Gears of War 3 was empty. That being said, according to members of the Xbox 360 Discord server I'll put in the description, as well as people on Reddit, Gears 3 is supposedly still somewhat populated. Just clearly not when I was online. What, do I smell or something? I bet you forgot this thing existed, didn't you? Because they wanted money, another GOW came out in March 2013 after the trilogy was completed, and failed to perform well both critically and commercially, and no, I'm not talking about God of War Ascension. Despite this, I was able to get into a game on Gears of War Judgment with one other player where we had to protect the B-hole cover. It wasn't great. I also tried to get into the versus modes. Wizard Banjo was the only other human person in Quick Team Deathmatch. I bounced around and tried some of the other versus modes and was more disappointed in the results than when Maury told me I was the father. My final judgment on Gears of War Judgment is that no one's playing it in 2024. The Gears of War games were disappointing, so let's go someplace that will never let you down, the world of Call of Duty. After waiting several hours for the pair of 100 kilobyte updates to download, it took less time to download 2 gigabyte updates, I was able to jump into Black Ops 3, the final Call of Duty for Xbox 360. Well, at least I tried to. You see, the game had other plans, deciding to freeze when I went to unlock my specialist. Multiple times. So I tried to install the full game to my hard drive. Nope, disk was borked. Anytime I tried to access multiplayer, it froze and became unplayable. This was the beginning of a calamity of errors that would soon follow. At the time though, I was still naive, so I tried zombies. That worked, except no one was online. Shadows of Evil said 0%, The Giant said 0%, and German Words said 0%. So it looks like zombies in Black Ops 3 is dead. Or I guess undead, because it's still alive but sort of just shambling along. In total, I had 5 Call of Duty games prepped for this video. Black Ops 3 only half worked, and Ghost got lost in the mail, so I was basically down to 3 before even starting. Will my luck turn around with Advanced Warfare, which released 10 years ago? Considering that it features Kevin Spacey, I can only imagine it will. Activision strongly recommended that I do the Combat Readiness program, but since no one was there, I wanged it and jumped straight into multiplayer. Unlike other Call of Duty games, Advanced Warfare doesn't tell you the player count, so I had to go through each mode individually. Yay! Team Deathmatch only maxed out with one other player, Domination failed to find anybody, Free-for-all was empty, same with Kill Confirmed and Search and Destroy. Hardpoint left me soft, and Mosh Pit was emptier than a mosh pit at a Taylor Swift concert. I tested every single playlist in Advanced Warfare, and the only time I found someone was in that original Team Deathmatch test. So I went back, waited, and one potential game was found. Except when the game tested that match, it didn't put me in. They tricked me. If you can't trust Kevin Spacey, who can you trust, am I right? I waited around for 10 more minutes, never got past 4 players in the lobby, you need a minimum of 6, and quit. The other game mode, Exo Survival, was also empty, and Activision wanted $15 or something for Exo Zombies, which was probably empty as well, so I passed. It was at this point that I realized things weren't really looking good for the Xbox 360. I guess forcing people to play for online multiplayer on a system that's nearly 20 years old isn't conducive to keeping an active player base. I wonder if there's a system that released around the same time as the 360 that has the same games but doesn't charge for multiplayer. Maybe that would be more popular. Anyways, we still have 2 more Calls of Duty to get through. Our luck could change, right? You're damn right it can. We continue our blast through the past with Modern Warfare 3. Well, the original Modern Warfare 3. Or I guess the good Modern Warfare 3. Whatever. Released in 2011, Modern Warfare 3 had 61,000 people online? What? After downloading the free DLC, do you remember when the original Xbox 360 didn't have Wi-Fi and you had to spend $100 to give it Wi-Fi? Damn, I'm old. Anyways, after getting the DLC, I jumped back in and yup, Modern Warfare 3 on 360 is insanely populated in 2024. Like, it takes 5 seconds to find a game. While there are apparently 60,000 people online in Modern Warfare 3, 12,000 were actively in playlists on 360, and 10,000 of those were in standard playlists. While everything seems to have at least a few players, your best bets are Team Deathmatch and Domination, which both see thousands of people. It's worth noting that I didn't spend $60 or whatever to get any DLC for any of the Call of Duties, so that could be holding me back somewhat. But if you're finding 0 people to play with naturally, why would you waste $60 to find out if they're simply hiding somewhere? Regardless, the old Modern Warfare 3 is still heavily played in 2024. Like, more than Starfield on PC heavily played. And for the final Xbox 360 Call of Duty game in this video, we have the first Black Ops. If you're disappointed that I didn't check out every Call of Duty on 360, I've learned that spreading your seed as much as possible is better than just dumping it all in one spot over and over again. So I'll be doing a PS3 online multiplayer video next, featuring plenty of multi-platform games that I didn't check out here. Before all that, I have some great news. Black Ops is even more massive than Modern Warfare 3. When I looked, there were 98,000 players online in total, but only 12,000 active on 360. So it's tied with Modern Warfare 3 in that respect. Bare Bones was bare bones, same with DLC. Hardcore had a few hundred players, but of course, Core was where everyone gathered. Each mode had some level of activity, though Team Deathmatch and Domination were the only ones with more than 1,000 players. Search and Destroy was third best at 900 players. I tested Team Deathmatch, and before I could even get my toes out of my mouth, I was already in a game with Yummy Cobra and Darth Gator. It was the same story with Domination. As soon as I searched for a match, I was in a match. Because it seemed like Advanced Warfare's lack of players was an anomaly, I tried it again after Modern Warfare and Black Ops. No. Advanced Warfare clearly isn't resonating with Xbox 360 players. Though the issue is likely much more simple. Advanced Warfare had a native Xbox One version, while Black Ops and Modern Warfare were only on Xbox 360 but have backwards compatibility. Or people just hate Advanced Warfare. Either way, you can still find plenty of people to play with in both Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops on Xbox 360 in 2024. I originally had a joke where I said, now that we've slogged our way through Call of Duty, we can finally get to the good first-person shooter franchise on Xbox 360, Battlefield. Well, some unpleasantness happened along the way, and I hope you're ready for a saga more engrossing than the Divergent movie franchise. It all started with Battlefield 3, which wouldn't work at all and kept giving me the connection with EA Online was lost message. This was after I received an advertisement for Battlefield 1, by the way. I thought it was a one-off and tried to play Battlefield 4 and Hardline instead. Same thing. So I had to poke around more than a proctologist. After clearing this, deleting that, and re-downloading some things, I still got the same error message in all three games. And as an added bonus, all of the updates I downloaded for the other games were deleted in my quest to fix this issue. Can I please go back in time to tell myself to never do this video? Since time travel hasn't been invented yet, I looked up additional solutions, and apparently EA wants me to get deep into the guts of my router to fix the issue. Which would be great if I wasn't borrowing my neighbor's Wi-Fi without them knowing. Oh, and the best part about all of this is that I was using a 48-hour Xbox Live Gold trial and didn't start the Battlefield games until day 2. So the clock was ticking. Well, I read up on what I had to do, didn't understand half the words they used, and realized this was a lot of work to access online multiplayer that someone usually has to pay for. If what I'm doing in this video is showing off what the average player experience is like on Xbox 360 in 2024, the takeaway is that buying a Battlefield game is not a good idea. But don't worry, it got worse. Those Battlefields weren't the only EA games I bought for this video. Remember all that research I did prior to filming this? Well, I learned that the original Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare still has active servers, so I bought it. That was another mistake. Just like with the Battlefields, I couldn't connect to EA servers. Again, I fingered my keyboard for a few minutes and learned that this is a fairly common issue. So while some people can still access Garden Warfare in 2024, if you're one of the lucky ones like me, it's effectively just a main menu simulator. Remember when Skate 3 was added to Xbox One backwards compatibility and sales absolutely exploded? Considering that we're still waiting on a new Skate, I figured there would 100% still be people playing it in 2024. And according to Reddit, there are a few, but I wanted to see for myself. Well, good old EA never let me connect to EA Nation. So based on a tip from the community, I created an EA account. I went through all the steps, reset my password, reset the game, waited for EA to authenticate me, and the server was not available. Basically, EA hates me. Surely we can't go 0 for 6 with EA games, right? I mean, Fight Night Champions somehow survived the recent server shutdown by EA, so that means the player base is massive, right? Well, you'll never guess, but it's yet another EA game I can't access. The good news is that the message this time around is different. Instead of not being able to connect to EA servers, apparently my account has been disabled. So much better, right? With my will to continue this video at an all-time low, I slapped Titanfall into my Xbox 360, skipped the training, and wait, what? It's an EA game that actually let me connect to the servers. Unfortunately, the good news ended there. I tried Attrition, Marked for Death, Frontier Defense, Campaign, Last Titan Standing, and Hardpoint. Waited several minutes in each lobby and never saw another player. Yeah, no one's playing the original Titanfall on Xbox 360 these days. Not only is there the sequel with its amazing campaign, but Respawn also has Apex Legends, which is getting all of their hot sticky love these days. Still, if you want the fun experience of at least being able to connect to EA servers in 2024, Titanfall seems to be your best bet. And that's totally worth the few dollars it's going for on eBay. Alright, let's leave behind the shadow of the damned left in EA's Alan Wake and move on to something happier like Rapture. I remember enjoying BioShock 2 multiplayer back in the day, and since the multiplayer was stripped out of the updated version, does that mean people go back and play the 360 version online? Of course not. I tried every single multiplayer game mode. They have funny names for things like how Capture the Flag is Capture the Sister, and nothing. All hope seemed lost. But then I entered Atom Grab and found someone. However, you need 4 total players to start this mode, and it was just us. Even after rechecking every mode and coming back to that same person, nobody else wanted to turn our twosome into a foursome. Moments like these make me appreciate Call of Duty games telling you how many people are online, because it's ridiculous having to just hop into every mode and hope. Ultimately though, BioShock 2 is, unsurprisingly, a no-go. Now we come to a couple of games that were revived recently. Frontlines Fuel of War and Shadowrun. You'd think games from the late early 2000s would be dead? Nope. I hopped into a game in Frontlines immediately with the default search settings. I had no idea what was going on and the controls were horrible. Aim down sights is R3 and throw grenade is left trigger, but people are playing. Though it appears as if unranked Frontlines is the only mode with active players, and it is nothing like Call of Duty, so be prepared to relearn how to play a shooter if you want to try it out. Will this string of good luck continue with Shadowrun, or will it be a slow walk to irrelevancy? After ignoring the game's warning to actually learn how to play it, this isn't trust your pilot does well in online games, I found a lobby with 3 other players. After accidentally grenading myself, then accidentally betraying my teammate because I couldn't tell the difference between friend and foe, I did eventually find a game with 6 total players. Part of the reason why these 2 are still populated likely stems from their backward compatibility. If it wasn't for that, I doubt either would still have players these days. In fact, backwards compatibility seems to be a major reason why any Xbox 360 servers are still populated. But who cares about the why? If you want to play Frontlines and Shadowrun in 2024, you can. Just make sure you learn how to actually play them first. If 2 super old games can still have players, surely the massively popular Tomb Raider franchise will have no problem finding them in 2024, right? Well, searching for a quick match failed miserably, so I dipped a toe into the 4 game modes, each with ranked and casual, hoping someone would take the bait. I tried 6 different modes to no avail. But then I selected Casual Team Deathmatch and there were 5 people waiting for me. We got into a game right away, and not to brag or anything, but I was amazing. See, I don't suck at video games, it's the games that suck at me. Anyways, while there's very few people playing Tomb Raider, it is possible to find a game in 2024. And with enough people, it could actually still be a lot of fun. And now we come to the orange box. No, I'm not talking about anything to do with Donald Trump. I'm talking about Team Fortress 2. While the PS3 servers are offline, the Xbox 360 version is still kicking. I searched for a quick player match and quickly found 3, all of which were decently populated. Unfortunately, when I tried to do the same with ranked, nothing appeared. Team Fortress 2 was a little odd, to be honest. At times, I'd search for a quick match and find nothing. Then 10 seconds later, I'd find several matches in both Dust Bowl and Capture the Flag. So while Team Fortress 2 can be a little hit or miss, if you keep trying, populated games will appear. This is easily in the yes column alongside both of those Call of Duty games. And the best part is that I didn't even have to resort to the TF2 Discord community, which apparently is quite large, to organize a playdate. Grand Theft Auto 5 on Xbox 360 may have been taken offline to force you to buy a newer version of the game, but GTA 4 is still online. I let a Reddit post guide me to player match free mode and immediately got hit by a car when I entered. It didn't look like there was much to do in free roam, and people kept leaving en masse, but yes, you can still run around the city with other players on Xbox 360 in 2024. To see what was what, I checked out all of the other game modes in GTA 4. Deathmatch, Mafia Work, Carjack City, and Race were all empty, but then I entered GTA Race and 3 other people were waiting. None of them were actually interested in playing though, and despite my name, I had no idea how to fly the helicopter. After that disaster, I tried every other game mode and couldn't find a single player anywhere until switching to Ranked Deathmatch. There were 4 of us, and I think everyone else knew where the spawn points were because I'd get annihilated almost immediately. What I learned in my brief time with GTA 4 is that free roam is still a thing in 2024, and you might be able to find other players in Ranked Deathmatch, but that seems to be about it. And now we begin to wind things down with a quartet of games I had low expectations for. With Aliens vs Predator, I managed to find one other person in player match, that was it. Ranked had no one, and when I tried to browse games in casual, nothing appeared. Remastered a few years ago with multiplayer stripped out, Ghostbusters the video game still has active servers on Xbox 360. Well, as you probably could have guessed, I couldn't find anyone in any of the game modes. Creating my own game also failed to produce positive results. You might say it's a ghost town. I thought Resident Evil 5 had a chance to be populated, given that you only need to find one other player. Well, there wasn't anybody looking for a partner in the campaign, and when I booted up Mercenaries, nobody was there either. So I tried creating my own session. No dice. You might say this town doesn't have any residents. And what about the sequel? Despite Resident Evil 4 being my favorite game of all time, and Resident Evil 5 being quite good, I've only beaten one campaign in Resident Evil 6. I just couldn't bring myself to play the others. Anyways, apparently you can join someone else's game as a creature. That might have been cool, but no. And just like 5, 6's Mercenaries mode was empty, regardless of whether or not I hosted my own session. Campaign was another story though. 2 players were both open, waiting for me to enter them. It never actually worked, but there's at least 1 or 2 people still playing Resident Evil 6 online in 2024. You just, have to play Resident Evil 6, so is it really worth it? It's safe to say that overall, this video was disastrous. Yes, people are still playing Xbox 360 games online in 2024, though the number of games with actual online capabilities has shrunk dramatically in recent years. But when none of the Battlefield games can connect to the server, one Call of Duty doesn't show up and another is unplayable, you start to question your life decisions. Regardless, if you're looking to play an online game on Xbox 360 in 2024 without using Discord, from what I gathered, your best bets are Black Ops, Modern Warfare 3, and Team Fortress 2. The internet says the Battlefield games are still popular, but as you saw, I couldn't confirm that. Despite these massive failures, I am undeterred. EA can try to pin me down and choke me, but I'll keep coming. If this video gets any sort of views, I'll buy every Call of Duty game for next year and show people how much easier it is to play Call of Duty than Battlefield. Next up though, I'll be testing out PlayStation 3 games online in 2024. Be sure to check that video out next week, where you'll see if the Battlefield games actually work over there, or if EA hates me across multiple systems. Until then, let everyone know in the comments if there's any other Xbox 360 games still popular in 2024, or if there's certain times of day where people are playing, or if you know of any super secret Discord servers where Xbox 360 players can come together.